Hello, Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Chromonomics. And so let me just tell you a little bit how I start developing this think about chromonomics. I started being an image consultant like 30 years ago. Okay. And I love color. So I was doing color every time that I have an opportunity. At the beginning, I love it so much that I did like a lot of free consultations. And I realized very soon that by doing one or two per week, I can never make a living. And it was hard for me to get clients, especially at the beginning. My first 3 years, it was hard. People didn't understand very well what is an image consultant, what you do. And then after explaining, it was hard for them to pay for that, right? So until one day, a company called me and say, "Hey, you think you can do something about dress codes in the company?" And during my training, I mentioned the importance of color. And I did a little demo where I put some fabrics on people, and everybody was able to see the difference and how the color make you look more energetic and all of that. And then at the end, just by accident, I say, "Listen, I can come back tomorrow and I can do everybody's color." And I say, "You want to sign up, right? You can just tell me, and then tomorrow I will, because at that time we would use like physical swatches." And it was probably 25 people on the seminar. Yeah, those swatches, the ones that Claire has right now, those swatches were the ones we were using. And I remember that the next day I came back with a luggage and 25 people sign up, right? But these 25 communicate how excited was, to get the colors done. After they finished, they went back to their desk and they will start telling everyone. So I ended up doing like 50 or 80 people in like 2 days. And I'm like, this is the way to do it. So if I have, just think about it. Like if you have one consultation, how much in average you charge in Australia, Claire?
I always say the equivalent of just going to a really good hairdresser. So maybe between $400 to $600.
400 to 600. Okay, 400, right? At that time, I was charging 250, but it was 30 years ago,
Mm.
something like that. Okay. But then when the company hired me, I said, "This is usually 250, but I'm going to make it for 180." Think about it and multiply that. 180 times 50. Okay. So this is the way. I mean, let's do it. Let's do
I
it.
think
How
it's
much?
9,000, isn't it?
So it's 180 times 50. It's like 10,000, something like that. So I'm like, "Oh my God, I just like make what I used to make in 3 months or 4 months. This is the way to work." So since then, I develop a system because it's important that you have a system, right? Especially if you are presenting this to companies. And I call that system Chromonomics. So I'm going to share my screen so I can show you a little bit more about Chromonomics. And why it's called Chromonomics? Because it's transforming color analysis into a corporate currency. And just, think about something important like color. We just have an interview with the director of the Pantone Institute, okay? And I sent Claire the interview. She needs to, you can share it with the ones who are here,
Oh,
because I mean, just a surprise because they joined. But it's pretty amazing how she mentioned during the interview. She said 85% of the sales decisions are made with color. This is why I have been able to go in every field. She's um, like decoration, image consulting, I mean, interior design, I mean, you name it. She mentioned like, I don't know, cars. She's now working with cars, like trying to select new colors for cars because it's 80% of the decision on sales is color. And just think about it. When you are choosing the case from your cell phone and you are going in Amazon and choosing the different colors, you choose by color. That's your final decision. Especially us, like, that we love color. You go in and buying a top, your final decision is based on color. So it's pretty important. You just have to be able to sell that idea to the company. Okay. So Chromonomics has 5 pillars. So and the system has 5 pillars. So first, it's very important that we talk. So, and let me explain you why I made this system. In one of the companies where I presented this, one of the people from HR came to me and said, "Yeah, yeah, somebody came and she was doing this training for us, and she told us that we were spring, summer, winter, and the management and the directors didn't like that too much." And I'm like, no, it's not that. Okay. It's different. It's about psychology of color. Is how can I use color as a tool for sales? And then I got her attention. Okay. And first of all, I say we never use that terminology. And I mean, we are the only system, right, that doesn't use the spring and the winter. And I'm gonna tell you why it's important you don't use that terminology. One of the CEOs for a company, we were doing the color analysis and he was bright spring. So he came to me like 3 times and said, "Can you please change my category? I just want to be a winter, okay? I don't want to be a spring and I don't want to be bright." Okay. So it's because when you are talking to companies, you have to talk in the same language. And talking about, you know, you are a cool and clear, you are a warm and muted. People understand what are the colors that they need to wear. I don't say this enough. Like this is the best system. And in order for us to apply chromonomics to a company, we are the only ones who can do it. And I'm going to show you why. So the second pillar is you talk about the prints and how people can use, and wear different prints. Then you talk about color psychology, and then the amazing color personality system that we have, right? We have developed books, tests, cards to play, and Claire is going to show us, right, about these cards. And then the last pillar, right after you convince them that it's essential for them to know about color, then you do a color consultation. Okay. And why? I mean, why you should be working and start exploring the possibility of working with chromonomics in companies? Because this is a real proposal that I sent to a company. Okay. So I say to them, listen, we are going to apply the 4 pillars to each one of your executives. If you give me 20 people, I'm going to charge them 180. If you give me 50, I'm going to charge them 160. If you give me 80, I'm going to charge you 140. But if you give me 120, I'm going to charge you $120. Because with this system, you are working with volume. So you do the color consultation super fast, and we're going to learn today a little bit how you do it super fast. The company always wanted to pay the less amount possible per person. So they will go like, "Oh, no, no, I can get you the 120, Lula. Don't worry about it." It's always like this. It doesn't matter, like, it's a non-profit, it's a pharmaceutical, it's banking. They always go like, "No, no, we can get you 120." And then one of the companies start calling vendors to do it. So that means that you're gonna make 14,000 in a week. So do you understand why it's crucial? If I have one consultant that says, "I only do one company every 2 months, Lula, and I'm okay." Right? I mean, I don't want you to do that, but she's like, "I have 2 kids and I don't want to miss my kids, and I just want to work very, very big hard in 1 week, and then for 2 months enjoy my kids while I'm getting the next company. And when somebody called her, she's like, "Oh no, I'm all booked. I only have one appointment in 2 months," right? And I mean, it's valid to do that. So the first pillar, which is contrast, you have to make it extremely interactive. So if I'm putting these pictures here, tell me which one is the one who take the decisions. Number one, two, or three.
Pop it in
So
the
you can
chat, everybody.
put it in the chat. Yeah. I can see the chat right here. Yeah, I mean, because we know, but I mean, these people, they go all wrong, right? They put the tree and all of that, and then you explain. So we have tons of reasons, and you can change this slide according to the industry. So this one I made it for banking, okay? And I will teach you how to make this with AI. It's very easy. Um, and you can do another one for a nonprofit. I mean, depends, right? You do different levels and you do different people. So the audience can identify with them because in this company, they don't even wear jackets. So you explain, right? High contracts projects authority is very good. I mean, and you know how it is when you have dress codes. Sometimes you can have people playing different dress codes for the day, but you teach them how to use contrast in a very strategic way. So if you're going to a board meeting and you are going to do a sales pitch and you are going to have an announcement to your board meeting, you need a high contrast. When you need to look, more approachable, more friendly, but also at the same time that you have, certain level of leadership and credibility, you use a medium contrast. And then the low contrast is going to be for coaching sessions, for conflict resolution. So and you can personalize this by industry. So if I'm going, for example, to a IT company, right? And they were merging with another IT company, I'm going to put the different scenarios in here where they can use contrast to communicate. So number two is your prints and nonverbal messaging. So we already have the system, everything is in place. If they open their color app, this is what I told you, that we are the only ones who can do this. So if you have, and right now we have it on the website, right, in your color ID, but I'm gonna do the color consultation for everyone, and they are gonna know what are the best prints for them. And also, what is the non-verbal message they are sending with the prints? Okay, so we haven't, I mean, Claire is showing us right there. Let's show it in the app, in the website that we have. So I usually have this open when I'm explaining this.
It's so good now that it's on the web.
Yeah. So look, if you open, right? Right here, it's gonna tell me what is my best contrast, what are my best fabrics, and what are my best prints. So it's like you are giving the class, but now everybody have it personalized. This is why the class is so impactful. People is like, oh my God, this is great. And they already know, oh, I can wear, the first ones. And then for women, it's the same thing. Okay, because you don't have to go to banking. You can also go to a very creative industry. So the prints are gonna look like this, right? We already built everything, all of this. And then you can, give a class about the best prints. So the cool and clear. Who here, right here is a cool and clear, and people raise their hands. Okay, so your best prints are gonna be the ones that are bold checks, design, I mean, abstract designs. Who's here a cool and muted, right? So your prints needs to be soft. So you give a whole class about that. And then you can mix and match the prints and a non-verbal message. So for example, a cool and clear person, he needs, prints that are sharp, dynamic, structured. The best prints are gonna be bold, checks, stripes, very high contrast. And this is ideal for people who work in finance, law, C-levels. So you mix the personality, right? And the message that you're sending with the prints. So for example, a cool and muted, everything they wear, it needs to be soft, right? And balanced. So he may look more approachable, more analytical, and you do that for every single category. And then you go into the third pillar, which is color psychology. So we are gonna try to choose what are the best colors for your brand that communicate your unique identity and transform your impact. Now, you have to do it in a way where it's different from everything they hear, because then I hear in the audience, oh, yeah, yeah, they told me that blue is the color of productivity and credibility. No, we go deeper. As image consultants, we know that there is not only one blue. So the message that you send with a dark blue is completely different than the message that you send with a light blue. So yes, you can show, like we always show, right? What are the different messages for different industries? But something like this, it will tell a little bit deeper what is the psychological message for the blue. So if you have shades, let's do a little test. What does this mean that is a shade blue? What color do I need to add to the blue to make it a shade? We all have that in our training.
Come on. I'm not answering that one first.
What do you put in the color? What do you put in the color when you want to make it tinted?
And let me just give you a hint. It's the opposite of the other one.
Exactly. So to shade the color, I'm going to give you a few minutes. I see some of the, exactly. It's
Yes.
Diane. She won the prize. Exactly.
Elizabeth,
So
right there.
Elizabeth, very good. This is the black things and white. Yes, good. Um, and you explain the audience, they don't know about that. And I said, so I have a blue right here, right? And then sometimes I have like a little bit of colors, and then I start painting and I say, if I add a black, I'm gonna make it shade. If I add a white, I'm gonna make it a tint. They never forget that. Any demos you do, people go crazy and they never forget about it. And think about it, we have been studying color for years sometimes. But these people is the first time they hear about this. So this is why they start, just think about the first time that you learn all of this, right? They found it interesting. So if the blue is shade, it's gonna send the message of something that is loyal. This is why brands like PayPal use it like this. So look, PayPal uses two colors, loyal, and then it uses a tint and respectful. Do you see how this is identifying the brand and the essence from the company? So we can do the same, right? So we can use the right shade of blue in order to project my best brand. Now, when we're doing a color consultation and we're giving the app to clients, are we give them different shades of blue? Yes, we do. So you say, and I'm doing the presentation and opening now that we have it in the website, that is great. I open the your Color ID website and I show them. So we give you shades that are a little bit lighter, we give you shades that are a little bit darker, and if you click in any of them, it's going to give you the psychological message that you sent. So you don't have to break your head remembering all of this information because we personalize the psychological message for each one of the colors that we give you in your app. Do you see? People go nuts with this, like, oh my God, she took all this time to personalize all my colors. Yes, I did, right? And I mean, they don't know. You don't have to tell them. But I mean, it's a lot of work and you invest a lot in these tools and in this training. So it's very good that you know how to sell it. That's the most important part. Then, for example, orange, right? Orange is creativity. It makes the person to think about a story. This is why Lego made this advertisement. So when people is watching this, like I usually put these pictures on my training, and then I ask the audience, can you tell me the story behind you? It's so funny, the stories they came up, especially the higher the authority in the company, the more creative they are. So, it's just funny. And then after that, I say, well, there are different shades. There are positive things about orange, and there are negative ones too. Okay. And we have shades, tints, and tones. So this is and why this is so important. And you give them examples. So I spent a lot of time in Colorado and I was doing a consultation for a hiking coach who actually created his own line for hiking. And the colors that we choose for him, for because he created like a jacket that it was like the uniform for all the coaches, right? Because if you are trying to hike in Colorado, there are so many paths that you get lost. So tourists that come to Colorado hire him and he takes us to the most difficult, trails and show them different things and all of that. So he is 22 years old. He's too young. So we wanted to choose a color that reflected his experience. So we choose this gray. And then at the same time, he's very creative, opening this company, and he has like different manuals and maps, and he developed an app for his clients. So we put the orange for creativity. Did you see how you can, design different brands when you know about the psychology of color, right? And this can be for different situations. And then number 4 is the color personality system. Okay. So I'm going to have Claire explaining this one.
So with this one, the color personalities, we are looking at the sanguine, choleric, melancholic, and phlegmatic personalities, which have been around since, oh God, not Aristotle, but even way before. And what I'm finding with this, and this is where, especially when you're working with a younger audience, these are all but spot on. What you will find when your audience gets older, I believe our personalities kind of set when we're in our early 20s, late teens, early 20s. And so no matter what our coloring has done as we get older, I was a warm clear. I had golden blonde hair, I had, green eyes, clear skin, enthusiastic, social, and very much like, what am I going to do next? Where am I going? There is still so much of that in me, even with the colors aren't. But when you understand, you get a little bit of an insight to the coloring, or you can feel the personality of someone, it makes it so much easier to work with because there's so many of us. We stick within our own personality and treat everyone the same. But when you realize and you start assessing their coloring and understanding their personality, you will know exactly how to sell to them, communicate with them, negotiate with them. And when I have been training this for decades now, I said, oh, it's kind of a nice to know. Take it with a grain of salt. And then as soon as Lula presented Chromonomics to me, and we were putting together the cards, which we'll show you a little bit later, I had to do a lot more work, and I went, "Oh my goodness, that's my sister. Oh my goodness, that's this person. Oh my goodness." And they were that coloring, they were that personality, and I went, "No wonder we don't get along. Oh my goodness." And it just, you'll find when you're doing this in groups, understanding often how people react, perceive, it just makes it so much easier because then you can communicate with them when you understand what's driving their personality. And for many, many, there will be the odd one, but we always know there's that odd one person that doesn't fit in the box. But majority of people uh, will work with this, and then teams work well, groups work well, managers can work with their staff well. So each of them has, so the cool muted, analytical, they are going to want to know the why. Why? Just here's all the reasons why this works. The warm, and they are oh gosh, I've got my terms all mixed up in my head. Lula?
So, this is what is amazing, okay, about the system. Just like Claire says, is the best way to understand each other. And so when you go to a company and you say, listen, after I do the color analysis for each one of your directors or salespeople, you are going to be able to understand better how to communicate with them, what is the leadership style they have. This is fascinating, you know, because when you deliver the color analysis, you are going to say to them, is this a cool and muted? You are a detail oriented, you are very analytical, and you like the methodology. Step one, two, three, four. And if you have a cool and muted working with a warm and clear, it's a disaster because warm and clear, they get very enthusiastic, they are very social, they don't analyze too much, they act and they think after that. So it's a mess unless they understand each other. And then if you have a warm and muted, right? They are the ones you give them the goal and you don't even have to worry about it. They will get it done. This is the people that they don't need a coach to go to the gym, nothing. Warms and mutants are very self-disciplined. And then the cool and clear are the ones who are calm and reliable and they focus on the harmony of the team. So when you have a team who has the four personality, this one, when you give them the task, is like, oh my God, we can get it done. This is great. The cool and muted is going to analyze all the numbers, right? And say, hey, we can get it done like in 3 weeks, probably 4, because we need to follow these steps. The one and muted is the one who's going to be calling everybody every day. Let's get it done. Let's work on this because, and they also have a lot of leadership skills. And if there is a conflict between the team, the cools and clear are always going to come down. I have so I was running the New York chapter, okay, and then I am now running the US chapter. And in my board, I make sure that I have at least one of each. So when people is like, when you're doing interviews to have your team, how did you base that decision? The decision was this. I did a color, like a mentally color analysis on them, and I said, yeah, this is gonna be my cool and clear. And I'm telling you, this is a guy, his name is Edward. He's fascinating, he's amazing. And every time that there is a difference between two members, this one comes and is like, hey, calm down. So, and then we have a warmest and clear who's always cheering everything we do, right? And then the warm and muted is getting things done. And in the most analytical positions, I have the cools and muted because they never make mistakes. They are very good at, and in attention to details. So imagine that you're taking this information to a company. and they see the results. What I do when I'm selling the Chromonomics, I do the color analysis for somebody in the training department on the HR, and then I read the whole scene to them and like, oh my God, you are reading me. How in the world you do that? It's because this system work, right? So you are able to say, for example, the cool and muted, what is going to be the communication style they prefer? If I'm doing leadership, how do I approach to this person? And when they are in a team, what are they going to do? And you can think about this. You can do a report like this, and that's, part of the Chromonomics program, and give it to the manager. So the director of sales is going to get a report like this for each one of the salesperson. And every time I ask, like, what was your favorite part of the whole Chromonomics program? I'm like, the leadership and the communication style that you told me about everyone. So do you see how powerful this tool is? And then when you're training on this, I mean, we already developed those cards. Do you want to show them,
So
Claire?
we've got that one. We've got the 4 sets that they work with.
So the way that this card works is that we create some cases, like real cases for companies, and then every team is going to get one set of these cards, and they have to resolve the problem from the case, applying the different personalities. So, how do I cool and clear will react to this problem? How do I cool and muted will react to this problem so they can read what is the communication style? How can I fix the problem if I need to talk to a warm and clear? So this is like, so you can do a full day on this. You can do a full day almost in every pillar, right? So, and then the last pillar is how colors enhance your image, because you can do a makeover, you know, only with color. It's amazing. I mean, yes, think about it. There is color for the hair, there is color for the makeup, and there is color for the clothes. So the goal for this girl, because she lives in Chicago, and his dad was an architecture, and he died, and he was like, the clients weren't taking her very seriously, because she graduated for college 3 years ago, and she was like, I don't I don't want to dress like a professional. And I'm like, you have to, because every time you're presenting a project, you have all the experience, you know how to do it, but people doesn't believe you. And she will say that it's very hard for me, because in the first 5 minutes I had to say a lot and people to take me seriously, right? But look, you can change the whole image with color. And I recommend you that you document your makeovers. If you don't have somebody who want to give you the before and after pictures, talk to a friend or your sister or somebody that you can take the picture and show it in the training. People needs to see the potential. So even for men, look, this guy works for Silicon Valley in an IT company. I cannot put him on a tie, not on a jacket. I cannot also put makeup on him. The only thing that I can do for him is color and the hair. But look, he looks a little bit more capable, younger, and more energetic. He was an evangelizer for the brand. So he will go in audiences, very smart guy, high IQ, but every time he goes in front of the audience, people is like, he's like 20 minutes to gain the audience and also to make them listen to me, right? And he needs to look more energetic. So think about this. This is the part that we all enjoy the most, right? So you start doing the color analysis, and I usually have one on the screen, okay? And I show them, look, it's not about any color. It's the right blue for you. It's the right white, or the right beige for you. Even the red. And I asked the audience, like, which one is better for him, the first one or the second one? Okay. And I do a full consultation in front of everyone on the screen. It could be in person, and you can do it like super fast. And then after that, I show them. So we have a tool for that. So everybody's going to get this tool when they're going to have the best colors, and you are going to be able to choose your tops. The system is smart enough to give you how you can mix and match the colors, right? So when you choose colors, it's going to mix and match. You have to show the potential of the color ID. What can I do? And I always hear like, oh, I don't wear any ties. It's okay. Even if you wear very casual clothes, this is still working, right? And look, you can have 3 different blues, but the message is going to be different. Okay, you can have 3 different greens, and the message is going to be different for each one of them. So when you are combining all of these, right? So at the beginning, you can charge only for the color analysis, but when you charge for the 5 pillars, and that's what I say to them, I'm gonna personalize the 5 pillars for each one of them. Then I can charge a little bit more. So for 20 people, 250, right? For 50 people to 20, so you get it lower. And then the company is like, no, 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 we're going to get you 120 people, so you charge us only 180. And look at how much you're making. So this is the power of Chromonomics. So we wrote a whole book about Chromonomics, so you can go deeper in each one of the pillars. And when you take the program, includes a book that we wrote about color code leadership, which is the personality of color, but apply it to corporate, which is the most important part. This is a topic that I'm telling you, I can read and write forever because I think it's one of the most strong pillars that we have. You get the book with Chromonomics, right? And then you get the cards, the leadership cards. So, and also, right, we are gonna go a little deeper in every single one of the pillars: contrast, prints, color psychology, color personality system, and colors that enhance your image. So I can see like one of the first question is like, how are I gonna do 100 people, Lula, in one day? So so you can do it with your digital fabrics, but also Claire has this new amazing tool where you can do a color analysis super fast. No, so we have been using only this last step. You don't have to do the whole fabrics or anything.
So these are our determination necklines. And you know when we're doing with the full boards, so I've got some really weird sun coming in here now. We start with set 1, which is warm muted or cool clear. Now, obviously it's easy to do it on someone else, but which one's looking better on me automatically? At these two, warm muted, cool clear. I'll make it easy for you. We can, yes, exactly, Liz. It is the warm muted. That's wearing me. So, and remember when we're doing with the big, all the drapes. So that's set 1. You might just want to stop here, but because it is so easy, you might go, well, this is the equivalent of step 2. Let's just look at these two. That one, that one. This is warm clear, cool muted. Sorry. And again, it's easy if you're doing someone. That's too light, too cool. So it's like, okay, very quickly, let's now compare. Ooh. Warm muted or warm clear. Do we agree it's still warm muted? Yeah. So then you look at how I've got them set up. The top is cool, clear, and it's dark, cool, and bright, cool, its mates. Then I have warm muted on this level because I know what my color group is. I want it close to my face. But we pull out the other two. We go, maybe I'm warm muted. And as I said again, this is so easy to do on someone else when you're holding it, not on yourself. Am I dark warm or warm muted? Which of those two is better? Dark warm, warm muted. That's a bit scratchy, I think. That's better. So now, let's have a look. Am I soft warm or warm muted? Actually, and look, again, it's harder to see. I've got a face full of makeup. I am naturally soft warm because you'll see, if you see this in live, again, and you wouldn't be doing it on screen, that's a bit rich when you get here. This is almost coming, bringing my skin, my lips, my hair. Look at what I'm wearing. So that's how easy it is to drape now.
Yeah, so and it's only when you're doing, sometimes, I enjoy it a lot when I'm doing the full consultation and putting my fabrics and the client is enjoying, but these consultations, they are paying you a little less. You are making money by volume, okay? More than like one or one. So these are the four pillars, right? Contrast, prints, color psychology, color personality, and then what are your best colors. But did you see how first I convinced them that color is very important? And then after that, right, they are already, waiting to know what are the best colors for them because they understand how important color is. So when we teach chromonomics, we teach three classes. First, we go to the five pillars and we see examples and how can I apply it to different industries. Then on day two, we analyze 15 different people. So we pretend that we are in a company and we do color analysis for 15 people in 45 minutes. And it's like a real case. Okay, so we analyze all of these people and realize, right, that we can actually do like 55 in one evening. Okay, and it's just about learning how to do a color consultation in 2, 3, 4 minutes, the maximum. And then you go to the next client. And then you go to the next client. Okay. And creating the app for all of them. And number three is, the first time that you are promoting this to a company, it's better to start with topics like personal branding, professional presence. How do I do a proposal for the company? How do I deliver a contract? How do I contact them for the first time? So day three is about business. Mhm. So with Chromonomics, Image Consultant can turn colors into a cash flow, building a profitable, sustainable business. Okay, so the Chromonomic program has a return of investment in a very short time. Okay, so if you get one company, that's it. You recover the whole investment. So this program, I have been teaching it for a while, and is $1,200, including all of the tools that we mentioned and the books. Okay, but since we are celebrating July 4th here in America, we are going to do it only for $550, two payments of $225. So if somebody wants to, so Claire is going to share the link.
Oh,
Yeah, to
I,
everyone.
I don't
If
have it on
somebody,
a slide. Sorry.
so we can, take these classes now during the summer. We can start next week. I mean, we need to define the best time for everyone. But I would like to hear if you have any questions. Did you learn something today? Did you feel that you can go into the corporate arena with this program?
Lana, Winfred, Diane, you're welcome to turn your cameras on if you like, and your microphones. Liz, if you've got any questions. I will be sending out this recording. The currency, it's US dollars.
Yeah, it's US dollars.
Look what Diane's got.
Oh, Diane, you have it in the bag. They look so nice. I need to get one of those things.
Bamboo decorative ladders.
Oh, I
So
see.
this one, I was actually, another girl in America was asking me about them yesterday. It's a 6-foot ladder and it has 6 rungs on it. And it's just, they're always advertised as a decorative ladder. For the Australians, I got it at Mitre 10.
That's nice.
I couldn't find it on Amazon. Just FYI.
No?
No,
Maybe in IKEA?
probably, possibly.
Probably. I'll look for it. So, girls, listen, this was something that changed my life, this program. I love doing color. I love doing color. And for me, it fixes two issues. The first issue, I couldn't find enough clients. So when you are, something happened that when you are doing group consultations, especially like that, if you don't want to go into corporate, you can still run in a program for a group consultation. You can promote that, and we're gonna see also that during the classes. And you can choose an audience that you enjoy working with. So, for example, if you enjoy working with moms that have young kids, you can run a class once a month for them and do the chromonomics just for them. Okay. And then that was the first thing that fixes for me. I needed more clients. And second, this is the best way to make your business more profitable. So for me, when I'm, very busy or doing stuff, I know that I only need to book one session per month and I'm going to be okay. Okay. So this is, of course, I mean, if you can, and if you have the time and you can do 3 or 4, you're going to be amazing. Another thing that is important is that, so we remember do you have one of the sets where we mix and match the patterns, Claire? For the ties and the jackets so that set, when I'm explaining about prints, I usually use that set to mix and match the patterns and teach them how to mix and match the ties, the shirts. They love that exercise. So Claire is showing it right now.
There's all of those ties. They're all the little kerchiefs, bow ties. But then, sorry, this is my messy one from my drawer. Men's suits, shirts.
So the more interactive activities you put in that training, the more people fell in love.
And they put a tie with it. So
yeah. So you teach them how you mix and match patterns, and then you say, so for example, you are a cool and clear, and your patterns needs to be, abstract and geometrics and all of that. You have to make one combination with the ties and the shirts and the jacket that works for you. I mean, it's like having clothes and they are playing with it. So the more interactive you made it, the more memorable you're gonna become. And then I have MBA programs or universities who invite me every year to do this program because the students have a lot of fun by doing it.
Just FYI, they don't all, you do need to cut your own out when they arrive. I cut the suits out and the shirts, but these.
That's good. I mean, it's a very good set. So you see all of these CEOs and directors playing with the cards. So Lana says, I'm a brand new to this concept, but I love it. First, I think I will benefit for taking a course to learn how to be a personal stylist, then take an additional courses like this one later. That's good, Lana. So Lana,
So not
you did?
everyone is an Image Innovators consultant. We've got other,
Oh, no,
Lana
Lana.
has been welcomed, and yeah.
So yeah, you need to start with module 2, which is the color analysis module, so you understand the whole system. And then I agree. Maybe Claire will do a promotion for you and include the chromonomics in your training.
I can do that.
Yeah.
Also, I was just thinking, Lana, we have online, and we also have our brand new coming up, our global color training, which will be 6 weeks um, via Zoom, 2 hours on a 2 hours a day, and then there's a weekend.
Yeah. And then Elizabeth is asking that it does said with ties and jackets are separate from the chromonomics course.
Yes,
They're
these
separate.
are the suit.
How much are those, Claire? Do you remember?
You, you keep talking. I'll go in and I'll have a look.
Give me 1 second, please. Mhm.
So I can mention products, manage all products. So Liz, I'll be giving you the price in Australian dollars. Suits. Suit.
So I really enjoy meeting you all. I had to run because my next meetings I had to drive for 20 minutes. But
Well,
if you have,
I can
yeah,
stay on and answer any other questions.
exactly. But it was very nice meeting you all. All right. Thank you so much. And if you wanna ask me something else, I mean, you can email me. Claire can give you my email, but Claire can answer all your questions too.
Thank you,
Take care,
Lula. Thank you so
everyone.
much.
Bye bye.
So just before I close off the recording, uh, Liz, what membership level are you? I can't remember off the top of my
I
head.
actually don't know either. That's all right. I
It
can
starts
email
at
you, Claire.
220. That's where they
Okay.
start.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I am going to, for those who are new, Lana and Winfred, you don't know me as well. What I always do is I'm about to stop the recording now, and everyone can stay for a conversation. And so thank you, everyone. Chromonomics, we've got training coming in 2 weeks. So if you're keen, jump on the link that we have popped in the chat. I will be popping it in the emails. And Lana, I'll send you that course. And as well, we look forward to seeing you when we run our first or our next Image Innovators based Chromonomics program. As I said, we've got a very special just for 4th of July coming through. So jump on that. And if you've got any questions, don't hesitate to contact us here, info@imageinnovators.com. Thank you.